man of many words, but I'll tell you this much. Masks are more than just facades. They're identities, secrets, pieces of lives that others have discarded no longer needed. But for me, each one is a masterpiece. You see, I don't just collect masks. I become them. First mask I ever took was from a woman named Clara. She was kind to kind, which made her predictable. She didn't notice me following her through the dark alley. She never heard my footfall, steady, slow, measured. By the time she turned to look over her shoulder, it was too late. The mask was perfect. Her face soft, scared. Wide-eyed was the kind that belonged to someone who never understood real fear. Until it's already too late. Her scream didn't last long. She didn't get the chance to cry for help. I've always believed that a good mask should be seamless. Can't just take someone's face and throw it in a drawer like a cheap trinket. No, it needs to be preserved. It has to be flawless. And Clara's mask is flawless. I remember her face even now, pressed against the cold glass of my worktable. Her mouth stretched into a permanent scream, eyes wide open, as though she were begging for something, anything before the end. I studied her expression, every detail, every line, every hollow. Then I made it mine. It's a strange thing, wearing someone else's skin, becoming someone you're not. But that's the beauty of it. No one ever knows who you truly are. Not the way I do, anyway. The next one was easier. His name was Thomas. Thomas thought he knew the streets. Thought he could outrun me. Thought he could outrun anyone. He couldn't. I remember watching him, pacing outside that grimy bar, slurring something under his breath, too drunk to see the shadow closing in behind him. He didn't hear my footsteps either, but he felt them when I grabbed his collar, yanked him back, and slammed his face into the brick. Once, twice. The smell of blood hit the air like a familiar friend. I could hear him gurgling, but by then, his struggle had already lost its meaning. The mask I took from Thomas was unlike Clara's. His was rougher, harder. His death had been ugly, primal. But in a way, it was perfect too. He'd fought for his life, so I made sure to make the mask a thing of beauty, despite the violence that made it. It's funny how, over time, you forget the faces of the people you were before. You become so many people, so many masks that you lose track. But it's not a problem, no. They don't need to know who I am. There's another one, though. A special one. I've been watching him for days now, studying his habits. His name is David. He's clean-cut to perfect in a way. He's a lawyer, always so calm, always so composed. I think he'd be surprised if he knew he was next. I think he'd be shocked to know what happens when the mask comes for you. But don't worry about him. He won't be the first to scream. I'm patient. I'm always patient. You have to be when you're collecting masks. The way they beg is the most beautiful part. It's not about the kill. It's about the moment when they understand, when they realize that it's already too late. That's when I wear them. Because I don't just collect masks. I make them mine. When I'm done, I make sure that the world will never know the real me. They'll only see the face I choose to wear. The face I become.